So what's up, Texas?
Woo!
It's my first time here in Austin. So thank you all for having me. Good Independence Day today, right?
Yeah.
Woo! Independence Day weekend.
Better than last year.
How so? Yeah, we got Trump this time around, right? That's right. So, while we're out here, let's do a few cheers, huh? Like, death to King George!
Death to King George!
Hang the redcoats!
Hang the redcoats!
Yeah, because we won. We won that baby. So let's all get to our pool parties this weekend. Let's chase some skirt. Let's drink some beer. It's all a good time we're having. It's all fun and games. We got drinking to do. We got hamburgers and hot dogs to eat. Because we won. That shit's over. And look at us now. We are $20 trillion in debt. Every text that we write is logged by the government. Every purchase we make is recorded. Every aspect of our lives is regulated by the federal government. Every remnant of our heritage is slated for annihilation by cultural Marxists. And on top of all of this, we are expected to bring in tens of thousands, even millions, of foreign nationals to our soil to take care of them and educate them, to house them and give them health care, and to change our way of life so that they feel more at home. So yes, we did win the revolution, but to what end? A wise man once said that the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. He was one of those revolutionaries. And is he not rolling over in his grave right now, as we speak? Should our ancestors rise from the grave this Independence Day, would they look at us and would they be proud of what their descendants have accomplished? Or would they be so disgusted that they turn right around and run back to the house of Hades? Revolution is not some distant pipe dream. It is your patriotic duty as an American. This land is the birthright of our children, and yet we forfeit it to the banks, to foreigners, to the New World Order. This land was conquered by our ancestors, and yet we hand it over freely, too weak to defend it. This land is our land, and if you want to keep it, then you must throw off the yoke of the leftists, the globalists, the international financiers. So let's put this in different terms. Death to George Soros! Death to the Clintons! Death to Janet Yellen and the members of the Federal Reserve Board! Death to the Antifa and the communists!
That's right!
The sellouts and the traitors!
That's right!
Hang them from the lampposts!
That's right!
And if not for your sake, then for the sake of your children. Now it is brought home. Now it is no longer about some distant war fought by men in funny costumes.
Nope.
This is real life here.
Nope.
This is the meaning of revolution. That you put yourselves at risk, that you sacrifice everything you have for your country, for your community, and for your families, for your heritage, your culture, your history, and your future. That is what our founding fathers did. They were not messing around at barbecues on the 4th of July. They were signing a high treasonous document that declared independence from their government. That slated them all to be drawn and quartered, to be executed, to be defamed, have their land taken from them. So this is not about some distant past. This is about our survival here and now. This is about our country, our land, and our families. This is about the very existence of the American Republic and of Western civilization itself. So what you all might wonder is, well, how do we get there? Let's talk about direct action. Because even with this army of folks we have here, even as well armed as many of you are, we are not prepared to go storm that Capitol over there any more than we're prepared to storm Washington, D.C. You don't just take up arms against the government willy-nilly. Let me tell you what, our founding fathers were at the end of a long line of propagandists, pamphleteers, of people who prepared the American mind for revolution. 30 years they were preaching that. 30 years they were talking of independence before our founding fathers actually did it. And that is where we are now. It is your duty to revolt. And in the meantime, it is your duty to spread the gospel of revolt. So here are some 4 things you can actually do to get yourselves there. Number 1, first and foremost, on top of all, you must strengthen yourselves. Many of you out here, you already study martial arts. Many of you out here, you can visibly see the firearms y'all have, and good for you. But many of you have not studied martial arts. You have not studied how to use your rifle. Some of you don't even own rifles. That needs to change right now.
Damn right.
Because if your government is going to take you seriously as a people, you must be armed. A citizenry that does not have weapons, or will be run roughshod over by the government. If the government does not believe that you will rise up against them, they'll walk all over you. And if you don't believe that, go to Google. Look at the 1990s under the Clinton administration.
Yep.
Look at the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, and all the way back. Look right now to the riots in the streets. Where is it that Antifa and the radical left have their foothold? It's in places.
Uh-oh.
Megaphone, megaphone. And he's back.
Bring a long sword. You bring a long sword.
Timber first, it's legal. I own a Gladius, so I have
Back forward, back forward.
Yeah! As I was saying, where is it that the Antifa have their presence? Where is it that these riots occur in the street? It is precisely where you cannot defend yourselves. It is in Washington, D.C., where you are not allowed to have a firearm. It's in New York City, where you're not allowed to have a firearm. It's in California, where you're not allowed to have a firearm. Everywhere that you are allowed to defend yourselves, the radical left is shut down. Oh, now I have no wire.
All right, come on down, man.
All right. And it's good to be with you all. I hate standing up on these things. Let me tell you why. Because this is a people's movement. There are no people up there that are going to solve all your problems for you. As much as I love Joe and Kyle and Outlaw and Joe, there are 2 Joes, my bad. As much as I love these guys, and as much faith as I may have in myself, no one's going to fix this for you. That's why it doesn't matter if we are armed, or even if our security details are armed. What matters is that you are armed, and you are prepared for war, and you are prepared to carry on the heritage of your forefathers. If you are not prepared to do this, no one will do it for you. Now, as as I said, a second thing you can do is spread the gospel. Because it was not just a straight shot to revolution. We didn't get to 1776 and just sign a document and say, okay, now we're independent. It took a long time to get there. Are you kidding? I can't go too far from this thing. It took a long time to get there. It took 30 years of telling the American people, you are independent. This government is inimical to your interests. You can claim independence and govern yourselves. How long will it be until Americans are convinced that they can govern themselves? That they do not need a Federal Reserve to control their economy? That they do not need a deep state to govern every aspect of their lives through federal regulations? It is your duty to spread that message. A third thing is to organize. There are, of course, many groups out here, militia groups, alt-knights, Proud Boys, 3%ers, probably even an Oath Keeper out there somewhere. There are many organizations here. Join them. Make friends. Join each other's organizations. And if you want to affect real political change, then also join a political party. Because being part of one of these groups that is prepared for battle is one thing. But being part of a group that is prepared for actual direct political action is quite another. So please join these things. You're going to have to knock on doors. You're going to have to make calls. You're going to have to do fundraising. You have to do all the boring stuff that the left has been doing for 60 years now. They are light years beyond us in terms of propaganda, in terms of organization, and in terms of uniting. And that is the fourth and final thing I want to talk to you with you all tonight, is uniting the right. There's been a lot of heat here between a lot of different groups all across the country on the right wing. And that is an unfortunate situation that we are trying to resolve right now. You have in some places Proud Boys pulling with alt-knights. Kyle and I are both in both organizations. Many of you here are in both organizations. And while these people are quarreling, the Antifa are out there passing out their propaganda. You have the Oath Keepers attacking the alt-right. And they are listed in the SPLC's hate watch the next week anyway. The alt-right attacks the alt-right. And the Federal Reserve continues to bankrupt our children's generation. The alt-right attacks the alt-right in return. And hostile immigrants continue to flood Europe, Canada, and the United States. Libertarians attack Republicans. And Western civilization continues to collapse. Republicans attack libertarians. And the federal government still controls your lives. We need to stop attacking each other. That's all you need to do. If you don't like one group, don't join it. But that doesn't mean you have to rip them apart in public.
Exactly.
If you like another group, do join that, because we are only as strong as our groups are.
Yep.
What we need is not various factions divided amongst ourselves, squabbling amongst ourselves. What we need is one mass movement on the right to take our country back.
Woo!
Unite the right!
Unite the right, restore the Republic, and defend the West. Thank you very much.
Woo!